Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do the analysis of When Great Trees Fall, which is written by Maya Angelou. When great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder, lions hunker down in tall grasses, and even elephants lumber after safety. So Maya Angelou has used this word great for trees, but we never use the word great for trees. Great is a word that is used for human beings. Let's say for their good virtues, for their good moral qualities. But here she has used this word for a tree. She is symbolizing trees. Tree is a symbol, trees are a symbol for human beings. She is using the word great metaphorically for trees. Metaphorically means as a symbol. So when great trees fall, when great human beings die, fall means die, rocks on distant hills shudder. Rocks that are very far away from that tree, they shake. The tremors are being felt. The tremors, the vibrations are being felt at a very long distance. The rocks which are very far away from the tree, even they shake. She's trying to say that even people who are very far away from that person, even they are affected. Lions hunker down. Lions which are known as the king of the jungle, they hunker down, they crouch. Crouch means bend your body to hide from someone. So the lions are looking for shelter in tall grasses. Means they are running and hiding themselves in tall grasses. And even elephants lumber after safety. Elephants are the biggest animals on the planet. Even they are looking for safety. So the king of the jungle and the biggest animal on the planet, even they are affected and they run away in fear and take shelter somewhere. The elephants lumber. Lumber means walk in a clumsy manner. Like not when we are afraid or we are in excessive fear, you're not able to walk properly. And that walk is called lumbering. We feel like we can fall anytime. That's called lumbering. So here lions and elephants can be a symbol for great people, great and powerful people of the world. Even they are affected. Or just any strong person, you can say. They are affected by by a death of somebody who is great. A great human being. When great trees fall in forests, small things recoil into silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. Small things, we can say, this is a symbol for children or weak people. It can be anything. They recoil into silence. Have you seen a child who is very traumatized? Or a weak person who is very traumatized? How do they react? Their reaction is only going numb. Means they don't show any emotions. They are straight-faced. Maybe their face has turned red out of shame or fear. This is what's happening here. And remember the word numb. Children or weak people are going numb out of trauma. They're not able to say anything. They're not able to even cry. Are you getting my point? Sometimes people are not able to cry. They are so much traumatized. So this is what's happening here. So they recoil into silence, means going back, stepping back into silence, not able to move ahead. And the senses eroded beyond fear. They are not able to even feel fear. This shows that they are numb. Alright? Their senses are being destroyed beyond fear. Their senses are being destroyed beyond fear. They are not able to sense anything. That's what happens when people go numb. Alright? Now, the third stanza. Okay, we say stanza in poem, okay? We don't say paragraphs. Alright? Now, the third stanza. When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe briefly, our eyes briefly see with a hurtful clarity. Our memory suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words unsaid, promised walks never taken. Now here, she is using the word souls. Just like she used the word trees, here she is using the word souls. Means when great human beings die, again. The air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. Light here means that the pressure is gone. See, here we can, from here onwards, we can understand this poem as our own story when we lose someone who is very close to us. What happens when they die? After some time or after a couple of days, we feel that we are not that traumatized. So there's this little pressure that is gone. That's the meaning of light. The air is light. The surrounding is light. Means a little pressure is gone. Rare means the air is rare. Means we are very unfamiliar with the surroundings. We were used to of the presence of that person in our lives. But now we are unfamiliar of the surroundings. We don't know what to do without that person. And sterile actually means infertile, but here it means that there's nothing to be gained. We've lost everything. We cannot gain anything, like we cannot gain any happiness from our surroundings. No one can make us happy. Everything, we lost everything. So the air is sterile. We breathe briefly, our eyes briefly see with a hurtful clarity. Look, here are two meanings. First, see, when we cry, because of the tears, we are not able to see properly. Isn't it? We are not able to see clearly. That's the first meaning. And second is that we are not able to believe what happened. We are not able to wrap our heads around what happened. So we are not able to see things, or we are seeing things with a hurtful clarity. It is so hurtful for us to come in terms with what has happened. We lost that person. We say that we can't believe that we lost that person. This is a hurtful clarity. Clarity means reality. A very hurtful reality that we are coming in terms with. Our memory is suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words unsaid. And then what happens? Our memory suddenly sharpens. Like when we were not fully into our senses. Now, at this moment, we are coming back into our senses and realizing, oh, we have lost that person. How are we going to live our lives? Did this really happen? Is this really true? I can't even believe we have lost that person. That person is gone from our lives. And wrap our minds and wrap our heads is actually a good phrase. So you should keep in mind. So, yeah, we cannot wrap our heads around that we have lost that person. Then gnaws on kind words unsaid, promised walks never taken. Here, it always reminds me of my late friend. I lost her a few years ago, and I want to share this with you. These were exactly all her last words, that we will meet someday. And those were her last words, and this poem always reminds me of her, our last meeting. So this is something I wanted to share. So here Nose means torture. Now that she's gone, and I regret that I wished I said kind words to her. I wished I said those kind words. So now it feels like a regret that I should have talked more. I should have spent time with her more. There is a sense of regret, and we all do, I think. And here promised walks can be anything. You don't have to take it literally, like promised walks, going on a walk. It can also be meetups. So promised walks means when we promise each other that we'll meet one day and it never happens. And we feel very regretful when that person dies. And I also wanted to suggest that keep meeting people. If you love somebody, talk to them, meet. You never know when is the last meeting, So let's get ahead. Great souls die, and a reality bound to them takes leave of us. Our souls, dependent upon their nurture, now shrink, wizened. Our minds, formed and informed by their radiance, fall away. We are not so much maddened as reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark, cold caves. So when great people die, and great, like I said, it can be anybody, like our family members, neighbors, friends, anyone whom we love. When they die, our reality bound to them takes leave of us. Our reality means our existence. Bound to them. Bound is the past tense of bind. Like you can also say that attached together. So our existence that is attached to them takes leave of us. It leaves. So that reality that we are together, bound together, it just leaves. We are no more together. That's what it means. Our souls, dependent upon their nurture, now shrink and wizened. Wizened and shrink has almost the same meaning. So our souls, dependent upon their nurture. So nurture means to care for somebody and to protect them. So it has departed. We are no more being nurtured by that person. So what happens? They get shrunk. And wizened means wrinkled. See, when somebody is in a lot of stress, you will notice that they have suddenly started looking older than they were. Suddenly. It happens due to stress. So here she is trying to say that our souls, because of the stress and sadness and the trauma, it feels old, not youth. The soul feels weak. Our minds, formed and informed by their radiance, fall away. Formed means created. Our mind, we are so much dependent upon that person that keep that person at the center, and whatever we are thinking revolves around that person. Like, if we are doing that, what will that person think? If I'm doing this, will this thing make that person happy? This is what it means by formed and informed. Informed means to be supplied. Formed means created. Here we have to understand it in a different way. So formed means created. Informed means to be supplied. By their radiance, fall away. Their radiance, it can be anything. Whether they made us smile, whether they made us happy with their empathy and love, it's that radiance, means shine. We were illuminated by their shine. It falls away. We become dull. We lose the luster. We are not so much maddened as reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark cold caves. See, madden means to turn mad. And here, dark cold caves means, the first meaning is the literal dark cold caves, as uncomfortable as dark and cold caves. Imagine sitting in a dark cold cave. Imagine you're sitting in a dark cold cave. How horrifying is it, right? It is the same feeling that we get when somebody dies, and we have to live in that dark cold cave. Let's say a family member dies. A house does not feel like that house anymore. It feels so uncomfortable to be in that same house. Earlier, it used to be such a warm place when that person was there. When they are gone, it feels completely the opposite. Okay? And the second meaning is that unutterable ignorance of dark cold caves. Here, cold caves, unutterable ignorance means people who are around us, they do not understand. The people around us are not empathetic. That's reduced to the unutterable. Reduce means that's all left of us. Reduce means that's all left of us. We are sitting in a dark cold cave. It's like sitting in a dark cold cave, and then there are people around who just don't understand anything, and maybe they are not empathetic. All right? Last stanza. And when great souls die, after a period peace blooms, slowly and always irregularly. Spaces filled with a kind of soothing electric vibration. Our senses restored, never to be the same, whisper to us, they existed. We can be and be better, but they existed. So when those great souls die, after some time, peace starts prevailing. Have you ever felt that? Or have you ever seen people who have lost someone who was very, very close to her or him? And the moment they lost them, look at them, how traumatized they were. And look at them after, let's say, a few weeks. It looks like as if peace has prevailed in their lives. So in the last stanza, she is being very optimistic. In the earlier stanza, she was very pessimistic. Now she's optimistic. So the peace blooms, but slowly and irregularly. Why? Because again the trauma flashes into their minds. The memory of that person flashes into their minds. Then they get traumatized. And then after some time they console themselves. And the cycle continues. They console themselves, and again the trauma flashes, and they console themselves, and again the trauma flashes. So this is the reason why peace blooms slowly but always irregularly. Spaces filled with a kind of soothing electric vibration. Look, in medical condition, when there's a part of body that is numb, a part of body that does not feel anything, patients are being given some electric shocks, little electric shocks. It gives them a soothing effect, because the area where they did not feel anything, now they were feeling. Okay? Our senses restored, never to be the same, whisper to us. So our senses can never be the same. We are never going to be the same. Our lives are not going to be the same. But still we have to carry on. We have to move ahead. We can be means we can exist. We can live. We are going to live. And we are going to live better than we were before. Because they existed. They existed, they lived, and we are going to live for them. Here, Maya Angelou is cheering people up, consoling people who have lost someone who is their dear. And in this case, it's her friend, James Baldwin. at whose funeral she is reciting this poem. So she is consoling herself and everyone else who's listening. If they have lost someone very close to them, she is consoling them and asking them to keep on moving with strength and optimism. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching.